The real estate market often seems like a distant world where only an elite of experts is successful. In a time of so much uncertainty in the air and bad news, realist investing can seem intimidating. But today, I want to tell you that if you make the right decision today, you can enter the real estate market from the back door. Bad credit record? No credit at all? Do you dread the idea of having a home loan? Do you dream of owning investment properties? You are in the right place and right time, because we have created a program which is a tax lien and deed investment online course of only 14 hours. This course is specially designed for people like you who have big dreams. You will learn at your own pace and everything from your home computer. This is your chance. Join our membership for $19.99 a year. What are you waiting for? Visit our website primetimehomebuyerBuyback.org and sign up today for course access.
Blessings, 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 Primetime Home Buyers family, and happy holidays. Last week we did not go live. I wanted everybody to enjoy their holiday. You know, we always come with action-packed information, so we wanted to make sure that you guys got a chance to take a break. I hope you guys enjoyed your family and you're ready for this up and coming new year. Okay, so what we're going to do today is follow up with the information that we have been talking about for the last couple of weeks. You know, we've been highlighting the Fulton County tax lien process. We showed you a lot of resources. We have a tax lien sale coming up the first Tuesday of this month, and we will be moving forward with another county. We have a surprise for you. Okay, we're not going to talk about that today, but we're kind of going to get you into the realms of how to close the deal. Now, before we get into today's topic, closing on your real estate investment, Georgia tax lien sale, what is non-judicial versus judicial process? This is something that I talk about a lot, and I used to say, what is non-judicial versus judicial? We have to know the foundations of what to expect when moving forward with the foreclosure process. And does it have us in front of a judge or don't it? So we're going to do a flashback today. But I wanted to inform you guys that this month information session that's coming up, we're going to give you details. Now, that's going to be a private session. Usually we do it live on the group. In the group, the Facebook group, but this month coming up, we're going to keep it pretty close. We're going to market on Eventbrite and a few other websites, but we're going to do quiet title action process step by step. And this is going to be for all investors, for foreclosure investors, for deed investors, for tax lien investors, because once you know the foundations of what to expect in moving forward to close the deal, the particular elements. You'll know where to find the law in your state, what steps you need to do. We're going to show you all of that in real time. And we're going to use probably 2 states as an example, one being Georgia, and then we may pick another state. Okay. So we're going to do 2 states. So that's going to be an action packed monthly webinar that we give. We're going to put the date up. We're going to let you guys know about it next week. But until then, what we're going to be doing is a flashback. We're going to get into the foundations of what you need to know to get invested in tax liens. And then we're going to get into non-judicial versus judicial. Yes, yes, yes. Give me 1 second. Let's get it on the screen. Hold on. Hopefully you got it. Give me 1 second. Please hit the like button. You know how it is to broadcast by yourself. And I want to say thank you to the people who have been with me from the beginning. Okay. This has been a long process. We have come a long way. Look at that. That's a flashback. I don't age. So let's get to this. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask in the chat, and I will be available for you guys. Let's get started.
I'm grateful. You know, I always got some type of reggae playing in the background. Blessings, 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 Instagram again, and blessings, YouTube and Facebook. You're here with Lashley, your host, your team lead, your coach, your friend, your consult, your homie, your lover, your friend. And I'm just playing Lashley from Primetime Homebuyers. Today, we're going to be getting into how to invest in Texas tax deed process. So as I told you last week, we're going to continue down the process of investing or learning about it.
Hold on, guys. Let me get myself on the screen. That's the wrong video. Oh, I was about to give y'all Texas. Hold on. Let's get to it. There we go. You know, we have broken down each state. So that was the Texas video. I do apologize. Let's put this on the screen. Here we go. This is a flashback. Let's get there.
Blessings, blessings, blessings. Blessings, Primetime Homebuyers family. We are live on the Buyback Wednesdays. Yes, I am honoring my words, so we're live on both platforms today. I haven't been on Instagram for the last few Saturdays because I've been switching up the topic, trying to get some things, settled. Because what we're doing, we're getting ready for the tax lien sale. How about that? Last week, specifically, we went over starting to look into information pertaining to Gwinnett County as well as Clayton County. Let me just triple check that, make sure that those are the 2 counties. Yes, we are looking into Clayton County and Henry County, actually. We changed from Gwinnett to actually Henry County. So those are 2 counties we're going to be participating in their tax lien sales. We're going to take you along with us on Primetime Homebuyer, the buyback team. So this is going to be the whole extravaganza. We did some extravaganza. Now we're going to basically do 2020 extravaganza. We're going to get it in. But before we do all of that, and next week, as I told you, the topics that will be coming up. So if you're not on the buyback team in the Facebook group, on January, and that's where we want to talk about building a team. You literally could be at 3 tax sales at the same time. You literally could be at 3 tax sales at the same time. Bear with me because I'm seeing that I try to set my camera up in a way that I won't be just looking up or looking down. So y'all gonna have to bear with me because my eyes won't be on you guys. But all right, so let's get to it. So today we're going to talk about getting your financial house together. Yesterday on Financial Tuesdays, if you're in the Secure Your Energy group, we talked about, I'm sorry, I got a text. We talked about specifically, coming up with a business plan and getting that stuff together, importance of different entities. So we did trickle into a little bit of getting your financial house together when you're actually starting a business. So you have to think about this such as like a business. So you want to prepare in that manner. You're going to set yourself as a legal entity. to participate in commerce a little bit different, that's my best advice to you. But you want to take your time, do the research. As I say, we're primetime home buyers. It's an LLC, so any property that we specifically have is going to fall under primetime home buyers, not specifically, the owner. You see. So if you want more information pertaining to that, I suggest that you join the Secure Your Energy, building generational wealth. That is really forward to the brown melanated community for us to start having those conversations, engaging in financial literacy and conversation on a level that's what's happening in our home that we can apply it to say, hey, this is my situation. I need some help with a financial plan. Those type of things. We want to talk about that. Or this is the step that I'm in as far as setting up my business entity. I did this, I did that. What's missing? So we're building that community as well. So we do suggest that the buyback team get into that community. Also, if you're not into the course, you can be a member for $5. $5. Let me stop. I'm always acting up. For $5. And with that goes to say, you'll be have the right to all of these videos in numerical order, as well as reference.
All right, I'm gonna fast forward a little bit.
Where they want to be, because they have to re-auction off the product. I mean, the actual, now they make you submit a financial budget and you have to stick by that. And I think that was set up for a protection mechanism, because people will go there and go to the auction, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, come to cut check, the check ain't there. Okay, so that's not where they want to be, because they have to re-auction off the product. I mean, the actual house of the product. They have to re-auction off the house product, put it back on the line, and that's not what they want to go off. And when that happens, they usually bar the person for participating in the tax lien sale the next time. So be wary. Have a budget. So let's say that you have a budget about $5,000. You stick to that budget and don't be ashamed of that budget. You may file tax liens for $4,000, something that you did your research on, because in this time, you're not only getting your financial house together, you're getting your research house together. Now, if you took in a course, you know what you're going to be looking for. You're going to look for the location. You want to see the physical house. You want to compare the GIS maps to the regular map. You want to go on the real estate websites to see if this property actually have, the house, or like what is it, market value. Finding out all that information. Okay. I want to just backtrack just a little bit. As you get in your financial house together, you also want to decide what is your investment goals. There's 3 options to this, and to tax lien investment. You can do it for residual income, and residual income is done by investing in particular properties that you know is going to be redeemed. So we talk about that a lot. I always give you the key. I always show you. Last week, I showed you some properties that I know will redeem, because literally it's a stack of 6 tax liens, 6 different parcel tax liens that's together for $4,000 with the same owner. So that's telling you that that's a developmental company. And that company, 9 out of 10, when they sell that lot in that cul-de-sac, they're going to pay you back your investment plus interest and penalties at that time. So if you're being a new tax lien investor, you don't have to go in specifically for the property, okay? This is how I started out. This is how I did it the first 2 years. You're gonna constantly hear me say that. Do it safe. That at least you know that it works. At least you know that you're gonna get your interest back. At least you know that, you did your due diligence, and you at least know how to pick properties that's gonna redeem. Moving forward, your next financial goal could be to acquire actually houses. So you're going to look for houses, particularly that is not lots. So we show you how to distinguish properties on the list as actually houses versus lots. There's 2 different kind of research process. You got to go a little bit deeper when it comes to lots, because you don't actually have the address, but you can find it, because I'm an active lot and land investor. So we're going to take you to Maryland, take you to our properties. The deeds are coming. Whoop, whoop, whoop. We didn't meet our goal like we wanted to last year of 7 properties for prime time, but we were able to meet the goal of 3 extra properties. So we're going to take you back out there, just like we did with summer extravaganza. Maybe talk to student contractors, show you how to get the property protected, get your insurance for the property, or get the property sold ASAP. So that is, look for that to be coming up. So with that goes to say, do you want the actual home? Are you going to invest in homes? So dual home, you'll be able to find whatever's on the tax list. You may have a goal that you may not find specifically what you want as far as, when you go house shopping with a generic mortgage company, you kind of get those far-fetched options. But with tax lien and tax deed, if you're in a situation where you want to be a homeowner, you literally know that you want to solidify generational wealth and have assets, this is the route to go. And I definitely recommend it not to throw shots at the mortgage holders, because I'm a mortgage holder on one of my properties, but I will never do it again because I'm literally going to be paying so much more on top of my mortgage, more than what my house is actually worth at this time. I'm tired of paying particular people. So we're going to show you how to beat the middleman. And that's why we're going to go this route. But you can't beat the middleman with something really easy. So we're going to keep it real. It's going to take you to put your feet on the ground, to understand this program, and to apply it to any state you want to across the United States. It's funny because I just started, working with an organization, and they actually have some contracts in Puerto Rico. I was like, because that's part of the United States. You have to remember that Puerto Rico, Hawaii, they have tax lien. Because this is part of the United States MO, you can go get the movement. But you just want to make sure that you know when is the redemption period so you can start to prepare yourself properly. We're going to talk about that, understanding the redemption period, breaking down the keys, getting yourself ready for that. Financial house, as we talked about, some counties are going to make you submit a budget. So that's good. It's going to protect you and the county. Stick to your budget. Do your pre-research. You don't have to see the first thing that you on the accounting list and then you just go for it. No. You want to at least have at least 5 potentials, I say, as far as what you're looking to invest before you go to an actual auction. As we showed you in the summertime, the auction is high intense. Okay, it's a high intense atmosphere, so you have to be on point. You can't be nervous. You can't just be throwing stuff out there because you're going to be banned from the next one because you overbid. Okay, something like that. So you don't want to do that. You want to come in, have your stuff together, do your research, know what you're looking for, because it is going to be properties that people are going to outbid you. They're going to outbid you, and that's going to fall off your list. So just be prepared for that. So you have your options that you want the house, okay? Cool. Or you have a third option where you want land, as I showed you. Now, land acquisition is, to me, an amazing way to build a generational wealth as well as to help the society around you. You can use that land in so many ways. You can actually sublease it to the county, let them build a playground on it, and that right there, you can receive tax credits for that specific area that you have donated for use, but you're still the owner of. You can have your name on it. Like mine's would be the Lashley Park. Okay, I'm horrible. Anyway, or if you have a plot of land, like for instance, we had showed you one of my investment properties that I looked at actually was in a cul-de-sac, and it was a line of homes, and there was a line of homes, and there was a line of homes. I don't know what back there. I think it was like more homes, but my thing was blocked off in the middle. So they actually paid for it because I think that was a developer company. But if they did not pay for it, I had plans. I had plans for my rectangle. And what I was going to do was sublease it to the actual energy company and maybe put whatever they have in the area, because the Maryland's, they good for windmills. And they also good for solar panels. So if I were to join an actual subletting program with the energy company, I will be helping that neighborhood to save on their electricity, and I'll be receiving credits, tax credits, and residual monies from actually the wattage that's used. So there's so many creative things that you can do. This is why I push this program to the brown melanated community. Okay? I know I keep getting off financial, but one more thing I want you to think. When you walk into a place, and this is what I teach my kids, and this is what really made them expand their mind. You can walk into any place right now, any place, the kitchen, outside, to the park, to a dinner, breakfast, and pick out at least 5 to 10 things that have not been made, patented, or created by brown melanated people. Okay, I mean, right now I'm looking at a dresser, I'm looking at a door, I'm looking at a phone, I'm looking at certain things right here, a notebook, those type of things. And that means that we have a lot of playing room. We have a lot of room to join in for competition, if you understand what I'm saying. All right, so let's think expansive and creative, especially in the situation where we're in, where, a lot of us in the Great Resignation, we talked about that getting ready, maybe to walk away from your job. We talked about that on Instagram, or getting ready to be let go because you know what happened. Okay, so financial house, planning your goal. I need $5,000 by 3 months. Okay, I'm going to study this course. I'm going to learn to make sure that I am ready for this tax sale. I want $5,000 to $10,000. How am I going to save that money? How am I going to acquire that money? Next week, we're going to all actually talk about financing your business and your dreams, different options. And we're going to do that and secure your energy, generational wealth on Tuesday, Finance Tuesdays, okay? I found out some more options. You don't have to go the generic way, getting loans. It's good, it works, but it put us in debt, and debt is against God. Okay, y'all know, if y'all going to get to know Lashley going to talk about God. I'm going to bring it up. So now, you want to come up with a 12-month plan, at least a 12-month plan pertaining to which is your projected goal pertaining to your investment criteria. Do I want the land? Do I want the house? Do I want residual money coming in all the time? Because I'm just going to invest in, quotas apps that I know is going to redeem. Like I literally, for the first year, I did 5. And then the next year I did about 7. And they are redeemed, but it redeemed time by time, month by month. It wasn't the same. So that money that I put into that tax lien, when it came back whole with extra money. So if it was sitting in my bank account, most likely I would have spent it, or we would have did something would have come up. You know what I'm saying? Even if we're trying our best. Not to say saving in a bank account is not a good idea. You hope to have self-control. But with that goes to say, this is the beauty of tax lien investment, where you're going to be expecting some type of interest and penalty coming back with the $2,000 that you put in. Like literally the first 5 was like $2,900 times 5. Okay, that was my initial investment, and as they was coming back, one was $3,300 return, $3,100 return. The first one that came back real fast was like $2,900 return. You see what I'm saying? So as they come in, you're going to receive the interest, and we talk about compound interest as well. So is that your goal? Is that your financial goal for the actual year, to get residual income? So next year you can say, hey, now I know this, I want to foreclose on a property, because I want to be a landlord, or I want to own property so I can flip it real quick. Now I want to take it up a notch. So with that going to say, 12-month plan, financial house together. Have a savings plan. You have to have, self-control. You're going to have to do it. You're going to fight the bullet. When you're going to say, no, I'm not going there to eat. Yeah, I'm going to go food shopping, spend $150 a week, and that's what we're going to spend. We're going to find things on sale. And yeah, that's me talking. And we're 3 of us is going to eat for the next 6 months. We can make it happen. And that's what you're going to do. Sacrifice so you can get that end result, because the goal is to build assets. That's why we don't have generational wealth. It's not just our buying. It's literally what we're buying. Okay. We have to buy the things that's going to yield actually assets, and you're going to be able to liquidate if you need to, or pass that on. Okay. So what would be your cash flow? Cash flow goals. We talked about that. Your actual cash flow. What is my income? Look at your income versus what you spend. Like, hey, I have an income of about $2,500 a month, and my bills is $2,250. So with the rest of that money, you're going to choose entertainment, or you're going to sell, or you're going to invest. You see what I'm saying? Or you're going to blow it, whatever you're going to do. And my best advice is to pick 2 things, or at least 1 or 2 things a month that you're going to invest in. Be diverse, be consistent. One of the people I do listen to is, his name was right at the tip of my mouth. Maybe God don't want me to say his name right now, but once it comes to my name, he's an amazing person. And he basically talks about financial education, and he always says, at least be in the game. At least be in the game, even if you don't know exactly what you're doing. Put $5 in. Myself, I'm not really a stock investor. I've started to do that, but I'm very, very particular. But if that's what you choose to do, make sure that you educate yourself in that room. Keep your portfolio diverse, because that's kind of like a short-term investment to me. It depends on what company you put in. But as far as real estate, as far as things that are has held its value for a long time, such as when you look into the videos on Secure Your Energy, I talked about gold. I talked about gold and securing gold when gold was $500 an ounce. Gold is right now is stuck at 1,700, but the people who invested at $500 an ounce literally have. Hold on, like my battery about to die. I don't want it to die on the Facebook family. But literally, those who invested in gold and just put that little bit to the side right now, when it's in the van, liquidate. Okay, let me stop. All right. So, moving, projecting your cash flow, having an opening day balance. By this day, I want to have this amount of money. It may not happen, but choose a day and stick by it, stick beside it. Okay, just stick beside it. God's gonna open a way, a pathway for you. It's gonna happen. So to spend what you need, the resources, and if it don't come right there, it means that it wasn't ready yet. Just keep on pushing. That's why I just keep telling people, because I'm literally, that is the story of my life. Okay, so one of the things you want to consider in your financial plan getting ready is how I'm going to break even, because I don't want to lose my money. And that's in anything that you're investing. That's how real we are. We want you to at least break even. So with tax liens and tax deeds, lien investments, you're going to break even, and then you're going to get your interest and you're going to get your penalties. It is what it is. Or you're going to be able to foreclose on the property. It's not a joke. This is real without running your credit. When we talk about signing up for the auctions, they don't ask for your credit. As a business, they do ask for you to be in good standing, especially if you're participating in other states, because when I participated in Maryland on my business, we had to get from the Secretary of State a letter of good standing, submit that, boom, boom, did what we had to do. We was up in there. We was up in the auctions, and we're going to also not stray away from the topic of over-the-counter sales. Not a lot of states do over-the-counter sales, especially states like Georgia, because Georgia do county tax lien sales. It is in their law that they have to do it every second Tuesday of the month, or it's like a give or take. And that's why we're also going to have a section that's going to be added on to course 2 that's going to teach you how to research law. Yes, I'm leaving nursing.
All right, and it's every first Tuesday. Just to clarify, I do apologize. This is a flashback, y'all. Just to let y'all know, I've been doing this for a couple of years. So this was actually in 2020, where I was doing the Georgia investment extravaganza. So what we're going to do now is get to it, because we're about 21 minutes in. We're going to get into judicial versus non-judicial. And now that's going to show you guys how which method you may need to use when closing the deal. Okay. Thank you so much for joining us today on our flashback. We know closing off this year amazingly. And hold on one second. Okay, let's go. We're closing off this year amazing with great information. We like to share information that's consecutive. So if we're talking about something this week, that means that you can go back in the last few weeks and look at the information, because it will be connected. That's what we usually do. So after this, next week, we're going to be going into another county in Georgia. I love Maryland. I love to say Maryland. In Georgia. And then we're just going to keep you guys informed of how to invest in each tax lien state. And I want to say this. I have to say it. Guys, we're cutting people at the throat. Everything that we show you here and talk about is the things that you can find in those seminars that they present to you. Say, hey, do you want to invest in tax lien? Hey, why aren't you investing in tax lien? But the difference here is that not only that we're blowing the whistle on all of these gurus and giving you what they'll give you in your seminar, we're providing more background information on how to do your due diligence. This is what we are here for. Me, as a legal real estate consultant, I specialize in investing in tax liens and tax deeds. I had to figure out what was the method of understanding each state if I wanted to be diverse. And that's why we encompass a lot of seminars that highlight law, the foreclosure process, how to do your due diligence, because just like school, we want to give you the foundations you need to be able to apply it across the board. That's what makes us different here. So I just wanted to put that up and let you guys know what makes Lashley Oops. And then I got the wrong name up there, guys. You know, today I was doing good. They like, who is that? Let's edit the name. That is from my other platform. I have a few platforms. Lashley. Okay. And I want you guys to continue to watch the broadcast. Thank you so much. I was almost ready. I was almost ready. Hit the like button. Let's get back to it. Now, this is going to talk about the judicial versus non judicial process. Okay. What is that? This is something you need to know to close the deal in Georgia.
Legal process we have to go through versus you're here with Lashley, where we're going to go into a topic today known as non-judicial tax sale procedures versus judicial tax sale procedures. And the reason why this is important because as tax lien investors, it's very important to know what type of legal process we have to go through prior to foreclosing on the property or what process we will need to actually get that done. So we're going to break this down for you a little bit because in Georgia, most counties participate on a non-judicial tax sales procedure. So just know in any tax sale procedures, you are responsible for doing your due diligence. And this is looking for information pertaining to the property, finding out if the property is actually in good standing physically, financially, to be able to be a successful investor. And when we say physically, we don't want any junk property. Financially, we want to search for liens on the property prior to us actually investing to see if we have risks associated with this property. Okay? This is why it's important for you to do your due diligence. The tax commissioner will execute the tax deed after the sale in the process of non-judicial tax sale procedures and will have the deed properly recorded. The deed is not a warranty deed, so you don't have outright possession of the property. Please be aware of this. Every county has a redemption period. In the case of Georgia, the state redemption period is 1 year from the date of the county sale. It is the purchaser's responsibility to check the validity of the title of the property. This is why we talk about title searches and the importance of having a title company and or possibly starting the title search process yourself. And if you're part of the buyback team and in course 2, we have an extensive course breakdown on title search, which is about 3 hours to show you how to get started to do your own title search and also the benefit of having a title company in your Rolodex. The deed, along with other information, will be sent to the purchaser at the address given at the auction. The mailing address is given at the time of purchase, and the address will be listed as PT61. So basically, you will be listed as a person that has invested authority in the property as of the day when you purchase the tax lien. The purchaser of the property does not take possession. Again, just because you buy the tax lien does not mean you own the property outright. The current record holder of this particular document has to issue a fee file. A fee file is basically to put the person on notice that you are ready to redeem the property. The only time you can file a fee file in the state of Georgia is no less than 1 year, 12 months and 1 day. Once 12 months and 1 day come after you purchase the tax certificate, you can move forward in getting your title search done, as well as starting to put the homeowner on notice via a fee file, which is basically a lien against the home. We're going to go a little bit deeper because it's not against the person. You're going to be foreclosing on the home. The purchaser must wait at least 1 year and 1 day to begin the foreclosure process to bar the right redemption law in the time frame. The purchaser will be responsible for any future assessments and property taxes that are associated with the current property. This includes the outstanding taxes owed to the city if the property lies within the city limits. Okay? On rare occasion, the tax commissioner reserves the right to actually basically um, void the tax sale in situations of irregularities, sales such as bankruptcies, assessment errors, and procedure errors. And of course, too, we go into detail about how to look at the title and to assess the transfer of the title to make sure that it's consecutive, because that's one of the reasons why they may have an issue turning the title over. Any type of errors in the documentation of the description, etc. So if you want more information pertaining to that, my best advice is to join the Buyback Team Course 2. Course 1 is totally free. Course 2 will give you the key details you need to be a sound, wise investor. I'm talking.
Whoa, hold on. We got a little technical issue
Go
here.
over a deed and how to read it.
I do apologize for the technical glitch, guys.
We go over a deed and how to read it.
And I do want to update you guys. We do offer free seminars on Eventbrite. We will put the link for the free seminars on Eventbrite that's on demand today. You can look at them anytime. We'll highlight that information in the description.
So, course 2 is actually a 9-hour course, and we do offer online classes for 5 or more people where you can bunch together and you pay your fee, and we will have the course live for you where you'll be able to interact with me or another host and ask questions. And at the end of our 2-day session, you will have access to both programs so you can review it for free. So we will be having that package coming up. Please look forward to hearing about that. So let's continue to go on about non-judicial tax sales. Non-judicial tax sales is the most common route of tax sale commissioner will take. After the payment deadline has passed and provide the owner with written notice, the tax commission turns the matter straight over to the sheriff. This is the difference from a non-judicial tax sale versus a judicial tax sale. Basically, the non-judicial tax sale does not include court proceedings. The judicial tax sale does include court proceeding with a judge. So let's get into detail. Continue. Non-judicial tax sale. The tax commission turns the matter over to the sheriff. And this is what is called the fee file or the writ of execution. So if the fee file or the writ of execution is put into the sheriff's office, they have to execute this on the behalf of the person. Okay? The fee file is an abbreviation for the Latin terms meaning cause it to be done. And the writ in the case formally commands the sheriff to sell the property at the auction to the highest bidder. So instead of going through the full court process where the judge will grant the tax commissioner the right to sell a property, they're literally skipping that whole process and taking it straight to the sheriff's office, okay? As a first step, the sheriff must send out a written notice, also a public notice to sheriff's cell, which is usually falls under a daily report or a sheriff's cell in the newspaper. Now, this is the same process that is done on a judicial tax sale. Once the judge approves the sale, then it goes to the sheriff's office. So I need you guys just to know the difference and what you may be responsible for, or the procedures for the tax lien process, let's say in this particular state. These notice group under the heading non-judicial tax sales are generally the first form of notice to hit the daily report and therefore usually represents the first alert appearance in the listing on the website. So this is the first notice after the paper notice directly sent to the homeowner. This is the second notice that's letting them know your stuff is about to be sold, because you have to let the people know. The judge, the courts have to know, let them know, and when we're foreclosing, we have to let any interest party know what we're doing so they can contest it if they feel necessary. Okay? If the notice list is a private investor, that means that the county has transferred the tax lien on your property. So at this time, if it's a non-judicial tax sale, that means that if someone sees that ad, me or you investor, we can literally contact the county ahead of time before it goes on sale and try to invest in this tax lien. And then when the homeowner tries to pay for it, they literally have to be in contact with us. This is part of the non-judicial process because basically this county don't want to have anything to do with going through notification back and forth with the homeowner. They're basically going to leave it to us. Okay? So the first Tuesday of every month, you're going to be able to participate in tax lien sales across the board in Georgia. We're focusing on Henry County, Fulton County, and Clayton County, okay? Now, the money that's collected for these tax sales, it goes towards the backs of the taxes. The bidder now takes ownership of the property, not full ownership. The original homeowner still has a way to get the house back. Explain below under redemption. So there is a redemption process which can take place over 6 months. Okay, I do apologize, a year. So in that year, the homeowner has the right to pay all their back taxes, the current taxes, penalties, and anything you may have invested applicable to law. Because there's certain deadlines, say for instance, if you bought the tax lien 6 months ago, the law may allow you to start to get reimbursement for title search. Things like that. So you really have to go in and, just figure out what's your rights in your particular state. All right. So we're going to break down the redemption process a little bit later, but we're going to continue to go into what's a non-judicial tax sale versus judicial. Now, going on to a judicial sale. Judicial tax sale is the second type of tax sale. The second type of sale, and it's the less common because these counties don't want to go through the rigmarole. So the second and most common of the property tax collections is the judicial tax foreclosure sale. When the tax authorities take this route, they have to wait a little bit longer to execute the act. They have to go to court. But it's usually a more divisive process. And generally, the county avails itself in the process as a way to put an abandoned property in better hands, allegedly. So, for instance, if they have a non-judicial process and you just have anybody that buy it and then the county steps out and say that you're responsible for putting people on notice, doing the title search, doing this, doing that, then literally you're going to have more chances of someone may not follow through with the tax foreclosure and take the property and do what they're supposed to do versus if the person take their time and go through the court process, make sure that everything is done correctly on a timely manner when it comes to notifications, what the court process recommends for you to do. This shows that person is going to have more vested interest. It's all in theory here. This is all in theory here, but there's two different routes. And like we said, the non-judicial process is the most common way that the counties choose to go, but there is judicial tax sale. And an example of a judicial tax sale state is Maryland. The process is so long, like a whole year just to foreclose after we waited the year to start the process. Well, 6 months, because in Maryland it's 6 months. Okay? So 12 months after the property tax first become due, the tax collector can file a petition in the court, Superior Court, and conduct a foreclosure sale on the property. Note, the legal action is filed not against the individual, but the actual land itself. Let's keep that in mind. This procedure is known as an action known in rem, okay? In rem. And these are words that you'll be able to find in our dictionary. If you're part of the buyback team, we do have the dictionary uploaded, and you can download that 50-page PDF, and that will help you with some of the tax lien lingo. All right, so again, the judicial process, they have to go through the process of putting notifications in the daily newspaper, but this will happen. The first public notice announcement of the hearing of Superior Court on whether the tax foreclosure sale should be permitted. So this is why it takes a little bit longer, because first you have to put them on notice that you take it in the court before the judicial process. And at that time, the homeowner has the right to even contest the tax sale in itself. So you see what I'm saying? This is why the judicial process is much longer, and counties opt not to go that way. Okay, So, if you see your property listed and subjected for a judicial tax hearing, it is very important that that person connects with the tax commissioner, because that means that your property is about to be sold to a property investor. Once satisfied that the tax collector has met the law's notice and other procedure requirement, the judge issues an order allowing the foreclosure sale of the property. Okay, so this basically gives the homeowner a little bit more time to redeem their property, allow the courts to actually review the status of the property, who is going to possibly acquire the property, and this, in theory, will make that person more vested in the property. Some counties do it, some counties don't do it. But I do need you to be aware that these are procedures in the foreclosure process, and that you need to be aware of when you're moving down this route of foreclosing after you purchase tax liens. Okay, so in a couple of weeks, again, we're going to break down the difference between states like Georgia versus Maryland, because you really need to understand the foreclosure process as well, not just purchasing the tax lien, not just doing the research to see if it's any liens or encumbrance on it, but you want to know what's the end game. What is my process in the end game? Do I have to pay to a lawyer to do this, or can I do it myself, where I'm just putting notices out to these people, and once they don't respond in a certain amount of time, I'm just taking it down to the court to get the deed recorded the correct way after the year where redemption has passed.
All right, all right. I'm going to stop right there, guys. We're 40 minutes into the broadcast. This was a flashback, okay? And I really love, I love taxi. I'm over here smiling like, yeah, look at you just talking about it. So I hope you guys got to understand that what is the judicial process versus the non-judicial, which is pretty simple. Either you're going to be in front of a judge or you're not in front of the judge. A lot of states opt to go through the non-judicial process because they already have put the homeowner on notice. They already filed the lien. And in most cases, they want the process to go as smooth as possible. But there are some states, like I gave you, Maryland, you have to do a formal foreclosure on the tax lien that you invest in when it's 1 year. 6 months, I do apologize. But then in Georgia, you don't have to do the full foreclosure process. There are steps that you have to take, which I explained, and that's getting a basic title search. I don't believe that you'll be able to get title assurance right away because there are federal laws that takes precedence where family members or people who have like connections to the property, they can come back a couple of years. It just depends to state claim, but that state claim is rare. And if they do, they have to pay you. They have to pay you everything that you invested in. And that even in most cases involve if you have already started to develop the property. So that's very rare. So in Georgia, they will opt for you to just get the title search and make sure that everybody is put on notice. And you have to do some of these steps by yourself and just bring it back to the county to show that it's done. Once the time frame have went up, you put your forever notice, then they will issue you the deed, plain and simple. Now, there are other things that I want you guys to keep in mind to consider, because this year we are building on primetime home buyers. If you have been part of the family, what we do is take you on the process that we go through. If I was learning how to sell, I was teaching you after I was successful. If I had to construct my own contract, and it was successful, I come back and teach you. This broadcast that we showed you, flashback, was from actually 2020. And I'm like, wow, we've been in the game for a little while now. That's why we're able to share the information we share, and we don't make it like, oh, do you want to invest in tax liens? We're to the point like, if you invest in tax liens, we want you to be safe, because I already have been in contact with numerous people who have dived in head first and then had little hiccups that they had to clean up. And those little hiccups to a lawyer is a big bill. But if you go to someone like me who teach you how to do your due diligence and give you the process, not only would you possibly be able to do it yourself, but then you'll be able to guide your lawyers, and you'll make sure that the lawyer don't overcharge you for simple processes. So that's why we're here. I want to say thank you for being with us on this flashback. We will be back Wednesday next week. We either on Mondays or Wednesdays. So we'll be back Wednesday next week, and we'll be going into another county in Georgia. Okay. So I want to say thank you so much for being with us today. You have a wonderful New Year's. We will be seeing you after the New Year's. So until then, you know what you need to do: plan, strategize, and execute. Put yourself first. Okay.
The real estate market often seems like a distant world where only an elite of experts is successful. In a time of so much uncertainty in the air and bad news, realist investing can seem intimidating. But today, I want to tell you that if you make the right decision today, you can enter the real estate market from the back door. Bad credit record? No credit at all. Do you dread the idea of having a home loan? Do you dream of owning investment properties? You are in the right place and right time, because we have created a program which is a tax lien and deed investment online course of only 14 hours. This course is specially designed for people like you who have big dreams. You will learn at your own pace and everything from your home computer. This is your chance. Join our membership for $19.99 a year. What are you waiting for? Visit our website primetimehomebuyerBuyback.org and sign up today for course access.